Hey comic fans, Dave here at Ground Zero. It's Wednesday morning. That means it is time for another weekly look at what's new on the shelves at your favorite local comic book store. Now, a pretty good shipment of books this week. I counted, just under 50 titles, so not too large and not too small. Don't know where Goldilocks shops, but wherever she is, this one is just right, so I hope she enjoys. Now, we're going to go through these as quickly as we can this week because I've been getting some feedback saying our videos were a tad on the too long side, sometimes topping 12 or even 13 minutes, just too far for you guys to go. So this week, I'm going to take out all the jokes and as much snark as I am physically capable of and see just where that leaves us. So we're going to dive right into the book, starting with DC Comics. Now, everybody knows, I think, that Batman accounts for more than half of the titles DC publishes. So think how much time we can save by not talking about Batman. So we're not, although he's right there over my shoulder, always looking over what we do here, making sure we do it right, because that's what Batman does. Now, what else does DC publish? Well, this is a good week to take a look at those, starting with The Green Lantern. Now, Green Lantern is a book that my daughter really likes. She reads it every month. It's a book she enjoys, but it's not selling tremendously well. Certainly nothing like The Glory Days back when Jeff Johns was writing it, and it was one of DC's best-selling books, which is really a shame because Jeffrey Thorne does a good job with this character and honestly really deserves more readers than it is getting. So you can change that yourself. Also from DC this week is The Flash. Now, Flash is really continued to be very popular. He got a big boost in popularity with his TV show. Now, some of that heat is starting to wane, but the book itself sells just as well as it always has. And so for those of you Flash fans that are out there, new issue, it's on the stands this week. Justice League. Well, everybody knows what's happening to Justice League. You probably have seen it in the news this summer, big 75th issue. If you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it for you because that's not the kind of stuff we do here. Well, everybody dies. But that's a few issues away. This issue starts a new story arc. I think it's going to be the final story arc from Brian Michael Bendis. So if you want to hit the ground running for the big 75th issue and be able to tell people, hey, I was already on board the Justice League before they killed him, at least for a few issues, well, this is be the one to pick up. Wonder Woman. Becky Cloonan continues her run on Wonder Woman. It has been really solid and successful. Wonder Woman is an ever-present force in the DC universe, at least for the time being. Hint, hint. Comic book is coming out, and here we have a really cool cover where she shatters the glass barrier around her. Very subtle, DC, in case you didn't get that one. Nightwing. Now, this book is tangentially Batman related, but honestly, Dick Grayson is a really, really popular character in his own right, without any shadow of the bat over him. New series has done very well from Tom Taylor, and here we get a really cool guest star. So, a good book to buy. Moving over to Marvel Comics. Well, yes, they have a new #1 issue because they almost always do. And this time it is a new Iron Fist. Now, speculators take note, this is not the first appearance of this character, so don't get too excited. It is, however, a new #1, and Marvel wants to make sure that you know that by putting it really, really large on the cover. Come on, it is not the loneliest number you can ever do. It is the biggest. And it's in this week. Also in this week, not a #1, but a #5. That is the 5th issue of Venom. Now, Ram V and Al Ewing have taken over this title after Donny Cates' really phenomenally popular run. So big shoes to fill, but they've done a great job. It has kept all of its old readers, people who enjoy both the character Venom and really were attracted by Donny Cates' run. So kudos to them for keeping the heat going, which they have with this book. So it's new also this week. And I should probably mention the relative importance of numbers because see there, the #1 and the #5. Obviously, #1 is the king of numbers, so Donny Cates could make that into a best-selling miniseries, I am certain. Speaking of Donny Cates, well, we get a double shot of Donny Cates, a couple issues from him this week. The 22nd issue of Thor. Now, the last couple months, I didn't have any Thors really left over for the stands. I had cut my numbers back at just about the time the God of Hammers storyline started, and that one went absolutely nuts. Speculators were buying in droves. It was a super hot book. Now, it's still going on. Actually, this is still part of that storyline, but it's no longer quite as hot because it's not the first appearance of any particular characters, and so now speculators don't care. But hey, that means you can buy a copy and read it. Sometimes people do that for comics. Also from Donny Cates is the new run of Hulk. Now, he has launched this run, taking over from Al Ewing's run, which was just an amazing run. Redefined the Hulk for modern audiences. That one was phenomenal, and now we get Donny Cates' run. So Hulk continues to smash really, really well and popularly. I don't know if popularly is the word, but it is now. Final book from Marvel that I will mention is King Conan. Now, I mention this because it's on the stands this week, as is the newest issue of King Spawn. So who would win in an all-out slugfest between King Spawn and King Conan? My money's on Conan, partially because I actually like King Conan, and partially because, honestly, when you look at King Spawn, this looks like the kind of characters that Conan vanquishes just about every issue. So that's something I would love to see. So Marvel, Image, get together and make that happen. Come on, it's obvious. You got King Conan and you've got King Spawn. This is a crossover made to order. Just make sure Conan wins. Moving over to the indies. Well, vampires. Now, this is some cool retro tales from the early 50s, pre-code vampire tales by some writers and artists you've never heard of, but they were popular back in the 50s. And what's really cool about this is, even though it doesn't say so on the cover, this is the Vampires 2021 Halloween special. Not even in time for Valentine's Day. So it was kind of smart that they left the Halloween special thing off the cover, but it's in the indicia. So it's either real early or incredibly late, however you want to look at it, but it doesn't really matter because it's really cool, cheesy retro tales. If you love old comics or love vampires or just love cheesy nostalgia, this is definitely kind of a cool book. So it's kind of fun tales. Comics the way they used to be, even before I was born. So I like that kind of stuff. Also out this week, as indie books go, is the third issue of Animal Castle. This has been the latest breakout buzzy hit, taken off from where Stray Dogs and places, books like that did. Not quite up to the level of huge popularity that Stray Dogs had, but still a really, really popular book. With this third issue here, we see the kitty trying to figure out how to actually take the bull by the horns, because it's one of those it's a little harder to do than the phrase makes it sound. Good luck, kitty. From Valiant Comics, our friends at Valiant Comics actually have really turned things around, I feel like, over the last few months. Their books are starting to rock again. So welcome back, Valiant. This week we get Shadow Man from Cullen Bunn. Honestly, guys, you had me at Cullen Bunn. I'll buy anything with his name on it, I'm in. So new issue Shadow Man, Cullen Bunn, return to Valiant if you had kind of let them go, because they're starting to make waves again. Two books from Image that I will mention. First off is Primordial from Jeff Lemire and Andrea Sorrentino. I am so sorry to see this book go. Loved this stuff. Really good. Could make a cool movie. And honestly, if you get to the last couple pages of this book and you don't have a lump in your throat or a tear in your eye, you are just not a dog lover, and I want nothing to do with you. So there you go. I have spoken. It's really good stuff. As is, What's the Furthest Place from Here from Matthew Rosenberg. This series has been great. I've been recommending it to everybody. It's not selling super, super well. It's selling okay. Honestly, there's just not as many cool people out there as I thought there were, but this book is really hard to pin down. It's a post-apocalyptic world without grown-ups, but it does have aliens, and it's a funhouse mirror, bizarre voyage of a tale. I don't entirely know what's going on. You won't either, but you'll enjoy every page of it. Good book, actually, but not a superhero to be found. There is more to life than superheroes, and its name is What's the Furthest Place from Here. Trades. Let's see if we can get these trades done. First off, from Dark Horse, LaGuardia. I debated about whether or not to try to mention the author's name, but I knew I would mess it up terribly, so I'm not gonna. Sorry. But be respectful that way. It's from Karen Berger's line of books, Karen Berger Books and Dark Horse. Both of those need your love. And the writer is a Hugo and Eisner Award winner. That is phenomenal. This is big, big stuff to have. Honestly, it's a class book. If you're gonna support this kind of stuff, and you should be, this is probably the best way to do it. Karen Berger needs your love, as does Dark Horse. From Image, I will mention one book, Ordinary Gods. First volume of that, Kyle Higgins is quietly becoming something of a solid, bankable name in comics. Won't be long before he's right up there with the big attraction names like Donny Cates at the rate he's going. So Image is giving his stuff a big push, and Ordinary Gods is no exception. If you didn't pick up the trades or the floppies when this first came out, first trade is here this week. Meanwhile, we get a couple books that I will mention from Marvel Comics. That would be Moon Knight and Moon Knight. Yeah, gosh, can you tell that maybe somebody's got a series coming and is the hottest character in comics at the moment? That is definitely Moon Knight, so it's out there, and honestly, this stuff is good. This Epic Collection covers the Bill Sienkiewicz issues from the 80s. I really love those. I was buying them every month when they came out, right off the stands. Good stuff, people, and good luck finding the back issues. They are just not out there, so you're going to have to pick them up this way. So that's it, and here we are, about to break the 10-minute barrier, folks. Obviously, it wasn't my snark and jokes that was the problem after all. Either way, folks, enjoy your cookie if you can get them. We love you. Visit your local comic shop, give them some love. And as always, remember, it's not about having what you want. It's about wanting what you have. Stay safe, everybody.